So it's Sunday, January 25th, 2026. I'm coming to you from Panama, the mountains, pretty much just out in the middle of the jungle. And I'm here to talk to you about false accusations, a parental alienation story you will not believe, and how easy false accusations made by weak people can completely destroy. And what we're watching being prosecuted and accused of by the top of the food chain, right? Obama's being accused of this conspiracy of fabricating this entire Russiagate thing. Never was a real intelligence leader. They just fabricated this to undermine democracy, to turn us all into flying monkeys, and to vilify. I'm not going to talk about the character of the person he was going to vilify because I don't really know, but to vilify someone with false information, that I know is wrong. And almost if someone's doing that, I'm inclined to believe with hugely diverse experiential resume behind it, I'm inclined to believe that, well, I know for a fact, and I'll put links below to genius works, including brain scans and everything, that narcissists attack valiant people almost every single time, all right? And there was even I'm gonna talk here in a minute about someone who went on a killing spree, killed a bunch of people because they lost their kids in family court. He became the environment. He became the problem. He didn't overcome the problem. He became the problem. A violence was done to him. I mean, the greatest violence you can do. Don't hurt me. I mean, hurt me all you want, but don't hurt my kids to hurt me, right? Don't use my kids against me. Don't pump my kids full of these false accusation lies and make them the flying monkeys. Who would do that? Well, the numbers of people doing it right now are astronomical. They've all been exposed by this carrot that we have called a court, but it's not, because it doesn't have the constitutional facets of the court, like lawyer provided, rights read, jury ability, witnesses to be heard, you know. It's a very, very, right next to the Braveheart thing for families to, you know, they said, well, we're going to give them up to an English lord as soon as they get married, right? They're just destroying the family to keep a slave state. I'm going to tell you a story this night at 12:25 in the morning. I couldn't sleep because I'm attacked by nightmares after my most loved one was pumped full of lies, and she believes those lies. And when you're living a lie, forget that it's defamatory against me, but if it's degrading, absolutely disrespectful as all hell and false towards me, but when you're living that lie, when you're acting that deception out, when you're fighting for a deception, you're not on your true destiny. There's truth and distraction from the truth. There's true destiny path and distraction from it. There's your highest self if you're able to achieve him or her or little one, and then you're on your destiny path. But if you get distracted, if you live a deception, if you speak a deception, even worse, now you're in that line. You're the deceptive chain of things, right? Yeah, so when I was a little kid, I wanted to kill my mother. I wanted to kill my mother with every bone in my body. I couldn't wait there was days I couldn't wait to kill my mother, but she had already locked me up. That's why I wanted to kill her, right? My mind wiped that out forever. I forgave her because she gave me this BS about how she changed herself in her church and all this. Worst mistake. Let a narcissist back in, the second time is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous because they know if you're going to cross that line again, it's for good, you know. Now, so we'll talk about all this killing. Now, do all the people up there that helped her and enabled her and believed her lies and served those lies, which are so clear and obvious, they're using excuses that were fabricated, number one, and they took place before an 8-year relationship. So how did the 8-year relationship between me and my daughter take place? Anyway, do these people realize that it's only because of my commitment to Jesus Christ that I went out into the jungle for 7 years and got rid of my phone that they were harassing me on, giving me death threats, hoping we hope you die, all this stuff, as they called me crazy. So you're harassing a crazy person, I guess? Anyway, as they call me dangerous, so you're poking a dangerous bear, then you don't care about none of the kids around. I tell you what, like, those people's kids only live, they can all thank me that they live, that them and their kids are alive, because they attacked my relationship with my kid and they destroyed it. Me and my child will never have the relationship we're supposed to have. We have literally been permanently distracted from that destiny. And that's some hard witchcraft to do. America could have arguably been, I mean, if there's wicked people doing that kind of deceptive interference, interruption, derailment, that's significant evil that we can't afford to put up with. I agree. I'll put links to all the channels about how much I agree with going after false accusers. I'll put links to the previous video I made 2 months ago about how we need to have a task force that listens to all these fathers screaming. How is 50 Cent's oldest son out here on the showing his abuse symptoms left and right? You know what I mean? How is this guy continuously alive? No, we don't want to listen to this, do we? Kind of wanted to sit outside, but crybaby over here. Come on, Blue, Bella. Right? But you know, I don't really need to sit there and pretty this up. I like raw, real messages. Give me the raw, real. Give me the hard truth. Don't lie to me. That's not a friend. I don't want anyone around me lying to me. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. If you're lying to me, I'm going to cut you out of my life. I've got higher standards of that. I'm not going to lie to you. Right? I'm not going to lie to a little kid about and with the intention of destroying their relationship with their super dad. While I know that it's a super dad, that's a black soul right there. That's a black soul. Anyone who could just slap false accusers on their competition, on their opposition, if we're just gonna make up stuff, I mean, I could make up all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? I could, if you're just listening to what I make up and I decide to vilify someone, well then yeah, that person's gonna be a supervillain. Because you're just believing my bullshit that I'm just making up. You know what I mean? And so what do we need? We need a bullshit resilient population. We need little groups to form and curate themselves and make sure that we're not talking bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many people. I could walk into a coffee shop, a bar, a movie theater, all these places and just listen to the bullshit conversations people are having in 3 different languages now. Because I go out and learn. I'm not a bullshit person myself. And I refine and I focus on what's real and what's true and what's actually going to bring me prosperity and happiness and love and quality relationships. You know what I mean? Not bullshit. So you won't believe this, but I forgave my mother until she came back around and helped kidnap my kid. So once you've identified that this person has no character, you know, that they will that they're the type of person that turn on people for stupid little kicks. They have to be right all the time. Red Shay, what's up? You know, they can't take responsibility for anything. They can't say, yes, I did this one mistake, but I didn't do this and this. They can't even say I did anything. They can't take, they are pure victim and pure hero, and it's fault of everyone else. They've done nothing wrong. If they've lied to a little kid for 10 years, they're never going to tell the truth about anything, ever. You're looking at a witch. You are what you do. What you practice, you will become. What you spend all your talent points on obsessively like a psycho, that's you now. A psycho obsessed with their ex, and they're surrounded only by shitty simps. Who would do that? Who would give their life? So this lady, this child abuser, has this man that's also a child abuser that has never seen me in the flesh, has never seen this, doesn't know if any of this is true. None of these people have. That's all coming from this one source. None of those other people have seen me in the flesh for over 5 years. A judge would say that's hearsay, a real judge, not a family court judge. In family court, the industry term between lawyers is weep 'em and reap 'em. Get them on their knees and then clean out the bank accounts. This is state-sponsored child trafficking that pushes, entices, supports, and pays people for lies and false address filings and all kinds of crooked shit. Bringing consecutively numbered daycare receipts to a fictitious daycare right into the courtroom. Shit like that. They get away with anything. It's all, and there's no prosecution for it. Thank you, Tulsi Gabbard. Thank you for everybody who understands the power of a lie and how, we just had this Amber Heard trial. Amber Heard's over there drinking tea. 100 years ago, she would have been burned at the stake. After all that evidence is produced, she would have been burned at the stake. And then what did she say after all that evidence is produced? I will take this story to the grave, till my dying day. Great, good. I'm glad, because you will go to hell for that. Like, I've had real experience, not just NDE research, which is valuable, but I've had real experience, that shows me there is another side, and the most excellent people seem to get a little bit of ability and privilege, more so than others. And in this life too, when I did a 10-year Christian commitment and took my daughter to church every week and had her hair done and had a whole nother wardrobe because a bitch of a mother didn't send her with clothes or car seat or anything, even though I gave her $100,000 for all that stuff. And if she would have been with me, she would be a kung fu, 3-language, jiu-jitsu, boxing, shooting, all the things she talks like she would, everything kind of expert now. But unfortunately, she's just mostly been in the school of narcissism by the number one lioness narcissist piece of shit I've ever fucking seen, next to my mom. Both of them did a double whammy on her. Now that is an excellent opportunity to become one of the most valiant people that ever lived, if you ask me. I kind of know, because my mom was locking me up to get a check off of my head the whole fucking time, from 10 to 17. I'd already done 7 years. All these fitness influencers are talking about, I did time, I did all this time, I did it. Man, I did that shit standing on my head when I was fucking 13. I'm not really, who cares about that? I don't want to think about that. I don't want to talk about that kind of shit. Obviously, my time was a little more doodle than yours, a little harder than yours, because I got nothing to say, man, other than, lots of abusive people want a job in a kid's place. And, selfish piece of shit, some others that put your kid in there at 10, doing time for stuff you didn't do at 10 years old is way harder than doing time for something that you did do at 25. All right? I know the importance of a bad parent. I know the importance of a good parent. I was a very, very good parent. And everybody that actually knows the situation knows that. But for a little bit of money, power, and the little bit of kicks, getting themselves take that, motherfucker. It's just like a child molester coming right into kid, you know what I mean? I watched the interviews. This is disgusting. All the psychological specialists say that this abuse by the person they're supposed to trust is worse than physical abuse. And I've been physically abused. I've been physically and sexually abused as a young person. And let me tell you something. What I'm looking at with the psychological abuse, whoa, you know what I mean? And then, because unfortunately this kid sounded to me at 23, 22, I think, just exactly like the Catch Me Outside girl. And now I looked up the Catch Me Outside girl and she hasn't changed. She hasn't changed. She made millions of dollars off of being a product of being just extremely stupid. When you're on social media, when you're out in culture, the cool culture, you gotta be like a little stupid. You know, people are really super highly judgmental of individualism. You've gotta kind of go by the uniform, you know what I mean? And chase the money, do anything for money, child abuse for money. You know, lie to your simp husband. Could you imagine? If everything I'm saying is true, what did she do to him? Poor fucking dude's he knows what it is. And he's older and he doesn't have confidence in himself because he's been simping that's why in self-development, you want to build up to greatness. You step out of something great into something greater, right? But if you're sitting there simping to child abuse, if your hand is red hot glowing guilty of child abuse and you figured it out and you didn't do anything, and you just stay in that situation and you continue to make bad comments about this dad to this kid and all this, telling yourself you did the right thing. I mean, what kind of psychological conundrum is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, my God, she knows I love her. She knows I'll do anything for her. You know? She knows that. These lied to kids, they gotta know somewhere deep, and that's all in the literature, in fact. Their nervous system is under constant shock. Right? Every freaking day. Just like a child abuser who's scared to get raped again, right? These guys, but this is a psychological, you can't even see, it is graphic. This is horrible. A butthole, a face, heels. And then you kind of have this, all right, forward march. This shit remains, man, every day. And you've got to face that hard truth. My mother didn't brainwash me. She just locked me up in places, right? The whole time. So she didn't have to do her job. And there's no bad 10-year-olds, man. There's just bad parents of 10-year-olds that do this shit. There's so many kids that were in my situation that are still instituted, that are still locked up. And they never had a chance. They never had a chance. They got trapped by slave catchers, by control freaks, and used to get money off their heads. And that's what the prison system's getting, right? Not doing now. That's what we're doing now with this whole corporate ball. That's why I've written entirely new paradigms, more in tune with nature. And I'll put links below. And that's why I don't care what your judgment. I don't care how none of my hardcore cowboy killer people and a lot of them in Albuquerque just kind of left me hanging, left me to die, and now don't support anything I do. I don't care. I know I'm doing the right thing, and those are just a bunch of bitches now, and I stayed hard, and I stayed overcoming shit rather than becoming a little pussy hater. That's intimidated by someone who's not afraid to speak up, who's not afraid to step out, who's not afraid of their own, the cost to themselves. in some sort of public image. You know, I'll slap my own public image. I'll slap every member of the public that has some fake image of me. Honestly, you know what I mean? I could care. You know, it's not going to come around me because I move too good. You know what I mean? It's never going to be in my vicinity to slap because it knows it will get slapped. It knows that I'm the real. The fake always loses to the real. It always talks about the real. It's always the fan club for the real. That's the way it is. It's hard to be a diamond. It is. It's easy to be one of these other punks. You know what I mean? And it's disappointing for us diamonds, us winners who just want to see everybody else win, honestly. You know what I mean? Because we're spiritually graduated beings that are not stuck in all that dumb hater shit. Child abusing shit. So, oh, me. Again, fear of the, you know, I've made plenty of mistakes. I'm not perfect. This video is not professional. You know what I mean? I could do a much better job. Dude, you should sit down and take, look, I'm telling thousands of truths and saying how I feel. If I die tomorrow, then people will watch them for sure. The one person that I really care about, this is all just for one. Isn't that a special person? She doesn't even know. She doesn't even know what real is. But she talks like she knows everything. What a syndrome. What a syndrome. How do you get someone out of it? Hard truths, man. You've got to get out of that. You have got to get out of that. And I don't know what's going to shake a person out of that, because according to Maddie of the Anti-Alienation Project, most don't figure it out, and the ones who do are between 40 and 60. And they all testified to her that it's had amazing amounts of damage to their lives. But those parents know that before they do it. They don't care, because it's all about them. It's all about them. They're selfish pieces of shit. Their husbands, their brothers, their sisters, their parents, all of them else are just flying monkeys to a lie. And if they continue to do that over time, you can blame a person for getting knocked down, but you can't blame them for staying there. If they continue to do that over time, well, they've successfully let their little lying brother, sister, daughter, whatever it is, drag them all down to hell. And they weren't strong enough to raise her up to a better version. And tell her, you know, I really don't think you should do this disgusting child abuse bullshit. When someone's making a video that says exactly that. When the person's sending them all the fucking abuse specialists saying this is what's happening. I wouldn't want to be those people. I'm so glad I'm not those people. You know what I mean? They have no idea how lucky they are that they're breathing air right now. That are fucking totally 1000% guilty of insane child abuse. Insane child abuse. And they'll probably, no. And the results are written all over the kid, just like 50 Cent's oldest kid. 50 Cent's a hero to what? Billions of people, but not to his own son. David Goggins, hero to billions of people, not to his own daughter. Extreme psychological child abuse, and those parents knew exactly what they were doing. They knew what the damage was going to be. In fact, that was their intention, for it to be that exact damage. What the fuck? Yes, we prosecute Obama. Yes, we prosecute these families. Some of these people should go to jail for 2 days, just like the banglandmovie.com documentary says. The Family Matters show, the lawyers, for 2 days, every 1 day alienated. There should be a task force that says, oh, this father says they did kidnapping and brainwashing, and the kid has Elizabeth Smart syndrome now, and he had to fucking pay for this shit the whole time. Boom. Yep. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Oh shit. Where's the task force for us? We don't even have barely any advocates. Anyway, if you're standing around this child abuse right now, you're a part of it. If it's going around anywhere near you and you don't fucking do the right thing, you're a part of me. And listen to me, take it from me. The damage from this shit is not a joke, man. You want your kid to get turned into the Catch Me Outside girl? That's the witchcraft that is coming from the top down through this fucked up system. And they're always saying it's in the name of protection, aren't they? From the top down, it's the same thing. Anti-narcissism.org, Q Carlberg down below. Thank you for your time. I think 25 minutes is enough for the midnight session. I love you all. I love everyone. I just want to see us win. I want to see you shake off the lies and get into the destiny path and get away from the liars. I want to see the liars face what they do and grow as human beings. It's the only way out. There's the truth and distraction from the truth. That's all there is. Devil just wants to distract you. That's what deception is. It's a deception. It's a divergence from your true destiny path, which you stay on by overcoming, taking on everything head on, no lies, all truths, and you investigate and you churn, and you are not willing to accept a lie. And if someone gives that to you, you got something for that. It's just go to the jungle, get away from, build yourself as an honest individual. That means cutting out all dishonesty in every type of form and way. And if you do it enough, now you're on this polar place, which is complete fitness. And now you're rocket riding, traveling all over the world, frying all the small jealous minds. And you can pay attention to Brandon Angel Fitness on Instagram to see this worldwide travel and this excellent life after I had no bank account and no phone and lived in the jungle with a big beard covered in dirt for 7 years. Okay? All right? Truth, true people, real strength is going to beat fake every single time.